Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Premier League review, the view from the south. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And it's a view from the south because it's a Bournemouth perspective on what we're witnessing in the Premier League, but also, according to a number of pundits, we're going to be at the south of the table throughout most of the season. Therefore, we're going to be looking up rather than down. But at the moment, Tom, that's not the case.
So if you want to look up, mate, you can. If you want to go for the title, I would take top four if you offer me it. But yeah, no, of course, great to start the season from a Bournemouth perspective. But yeah, we're probably going to be looking up at a few teams this season, I would have thought. So yeah, let's dive into it. Let's dive into the Premier League, mate.
So what we're going to do, we're going to cover each game for around 30 seconds, and then we've got a few highlights, a few awards, few FPL mentions as well. Kicked off, Tom, on Friday night with Arsenal beating Crystal Palace 2-0 at Selhurst Park. I thought that Arsenal looked fairly impressive, but Crystal Palace, they have a habit of staying in games, and you know they looked all right too, but too much strength from Arsenal in the end.
Yeah, Arsenal started unbelievably, and you saw them attacking players and what they can possess. You know, Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli and Saka all getting involved. They got the goal, but then, as you say, Palace kept themselves in the game, but Arsenal rode the storm, which, if you look at Arsenal sides previously, they would have buckled there, I feel, away at Selhurst, but they didn't. They ground it out, and then they got that all-important second goal, which we know too well about. So yeah, they thoroughly deserved a good start from Arsenal and Arteta.
Next, the lunchtime game on Saturday saw newly promoted Fulham, the Cottagers. Hello, Fulham fans. Nice to see you again. Credit to them. I thought they did a number on Liverpool. Liverpool weren't at their best, but Mitrovic,
he's not bad.
He's all right, and popped up with a header, put that penalty away as well. And Liverpool, it was too little, too late from them. Their new signing, of course, came on and scored with a couple of touches that he tried previously with that kind of little flick, and then he did manage to get one, and then Mitro made it 2-1. Salah again, 2-2.
Yeah, it was. It's a weird one because I think both teams would be relatively happy because Fulham obviously is a great point for them, but Liverpool come out of it with a point when they weren't at their best. I think we were speaking to Sammy from the Fulhamish pod, and he was saying to us that it's actually probably an all right time to play them, but you know, you probably look at it by the time other teams play them. Nunes would be settled in, but he had to come off the bench. Jota's out. And Fulham took advantage, so fair play to them. They were probably unlucky not to win it, actually, but when you got players like Salah and that, they could turn it on. But yeah, I thought it was a fair result on the day, and yeah, Mitrovic causing some problems, mate, and yeah, Fulham looked good, so yeah, fair play to them, and it was a good lunchtime game. I really enjoyed it.
Next game we're going to talk about then is, of course, Leeds United versus Wolverhampton. Sky Sports, what are you playing at? On the Sunday, not sure if you saw this, review of all of the weekend's games. They had all the results there, 9 matches. They missed out Bournemouth's.
Really? That was a surprise, wasn't it? Obviously, loads of views on our channel about Bournemouth because we are a Bournemouth pod, but yeah, we were brilliant on the day. We got the job done, I'd say. We weren't spectacular, but we knew how to win the game. Scored a really early goal and then scored one near the end to stop the squeaky bum time, if you like. But Villa were really poor. People like Coutinho were just non-existent, and yeah, maybe they did come into it a little bit complacent, thinking they could just turn up, go through the motions, and beat little old Bournemouth. But we've been here before when we were here for a season, and 5 years later we were still there. So keep an eye on us. Keep an eye on us.
Right, Jesse Marsh then started off the new season with a 2-1 win against Wolves, mate.
Yeah, it was always going to be a game that I think you could see going either way, but Leeds had the edge. I always think Wolves aren't the same team without Jimenez. His injury just before the start of the season has killed them a little bit. But yeah, they kept themselves in the game, but Leeds done enough. Watched the highlights back, and I always fancied Leeds at Ellen Road on the opening day. I just thought, yeah, they'll probably just get over the line, and they did. And I think this season's going to be key for them, keeping people like Bamford and Rodrigo, who scored. If they keep them fit, Leeds should be all right. But they've lost some key players, and they start the season with a win, so big result for Leeds.
Lots of Bournemouth interest up at St James's Park, not least because there are, of course, a few ex-Cherries on either side and an ex-Cherry manager in the Newcastle United dugout. But they beat Forest 2-0, did Newcastle, thanks to goals from Shah and Callum Wilson. And, looking at the highlights, mate, they dominated that game.
Yeah, battered them. I think Forest, let's to be real, they've made a lot of changes. It's going to take them a while, I think, and I think the Forest fans will know that to gel in and get the blend. And I thought it was always going to be a difficult place to start the season. Newcastle are quite high at the moment, aren't they, with what's going on at the club? And yeah, both teams had an ex-Bournemouth player up front, Sam Surridge, who I was surprised to see start. Didn't happen for him. He had a chance that he didn't connect well with, but Callum on the score sheet, really pleased for him. And yeah, as you say, mate, we'll come on to a few players, but I thought Newcastle were brilliant and thoroughly deserved that win.
Mind the gap, Southampton. Now, there's not going to be many times that we're going to be able to sing that song this season, but we can this weekend after their 4-1 loss at Spurs. I decided last minute, a few hours before kick-off, I was like, you know what, I will have Harry Kane after all. Didn't make any contributions whatsoever to my FPL.
Didn't you take Ward-Prowse out as well?
I did.
Oh, killer. But yeah, I was really surprised actually, obviously watching the Bournemouth game, saw that Southampton took the lead, I thought, that's a real turn up. But Tottenham showed their quality, I think, like you said then, mate, Kane and Son not being on the score sheet when they've scored 4 shows what they've got this season, and they've got a top manager in my opinion, so that's going to really help them. But Tottenham, after an early setback, just went into full gear and dismantled them easily and currently sitting top of the league.
And then in the late kick-off, Chelsea, thanks to Jorginho penalty, beat Everton at Goodison Park. You get the feeling it's going to be a difficult season for Frank Lampard's men this season.
Yeah, and Chelsea as well, actually. I think they've made too many changes, and I think they're a little bit all over the place, and they'll be happy that they went to Everton, actually, who are in a dismay of their own. I mean, they haven't got a striker, really, at the moment. I'm sure they'll make a few additions, but I fancy Chelsea to win it, but Chelsea weren't convincing. And, playing an Everton side is probably the fixture you would pick at the moment. And they went there and just about got over the line. So it'd be interesting to see how both them teams fare. You expect one to be the opposite end of the table to the other. But both of them are going to find it difficult, I think. Everton to try and make sure they stay in the league, and Chelsea trying to get in that top 4 when you look at the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham strengthening. But Chelsea got over the line.
On to the Sunday fixtures. Leicester went 2-0 up at home to Brentford. But Ivan Toney de Silva scoring relatively late, about 5 minutes from the end, and securing a draw for the Bees. And they're a team that I was personally hoping, obviously it's too early to judge, but I thought they might be in and around the relegation mix. Yeah. But that's a really good point for them at Leicester. It's not an easy place to go.
No, it's not. It's a good point. And yeah, Leicester, I think they're the only team that haven't signed anyone yet. So not sure what's happening there. But when it went 2-0, I thought, Leicester have sealed it now. But fair play to Brentford, that never say die kind of thing that brought them into the Premier League. They've kept that going, despite losing Christian Eriksen, who I think from a Bournemouth perspective, we've all thought, hopefully that would derail him a little bit. Kept going, and I still think, as much as I don't want to say, I think Ivan Toney is a very, very good striker. Took his goal well, and De Silva come off the bench with a cracking strike. So good point for them. Leicester will be disappointed.
As to coin a James Alcott phrase, Manchester United, something's happening, but something bad is happening, mate.
Oh, mate.
I mean, you know what? It's so weird. You hear the managers say that all the different things in their media press conferences and stuff before the game, on TalkSport, on the radio, on the TV. And then when it comes to the game, they look quiet, they look disillusioned, they look out of their depth. And I know this is one 90-minute game, but Erik ten Hag didn't look overly suited.
I mean, it's Manchester United. They're starting with Christian Eriksen in the false 9 because they just don't know what they're doing. And first of all, I think we should say Brighton. I mean, they've lost their 2 best players, by the way, Basuma and Cucurella, and they look no different because they've got a manager who knows how to coach a team.
Credit to Potter, brilliant job.
They lost Basuma, they put Casado, and he just looked 10 times better. It was unbelievable, and a well-coached team. But Man United are all over the place from top to bottom, in my opinion. I mean, the Ronaldo situation. Then after the game, they've just lost at home to Brighton. They're linked with Marko Arnautovic, who's probably one of the most disruptive characters. They're linked with him. They've signed Ighalo, Cavani, Ronaldo, Falcao. They just panic. And it's really weird for a big club like Man United to be doing that. But on the day, footballing side of it, Brighton deserved it. Man U rallied at the end at home, but yeah, Brighton deserved it, mate. I still think Brighton are a top side, and Graham Potter's a manager that they know, a bit like we did with Eddie, probably won't be there for too much longer. Really good manager.
So not too many smiles on the west of the city, but over to the east, Manchester City. They're doing okay. They travelled down to the London Stadium to face West Ham United, and they had a lot of the ball. They didn't really have to batter West Ham. They were just so good with it. But when you got a striker with the calibre of Haaland, won the penalty, scored the penalty, and then scored later on, Kevin De Bruyne, a lovely weighted through ball. And then when you've got that man on the end of it, I didn't realise how rapid he was, by the way.
I know, over a short...
Really rapid.
Yeah, he's got everything, and he has got everything. And will it take him time to settle in? Well, doesn't look that way. Obviously, he's got the big boys of Bournemouth to come in his next game, so we'll see how he gets on when he's up against the likes of Chris Mepham.
Huge.
But no, he looked fantastic, and so did Man City. It didn't surprise me. I think West Ham, take it with a pinch of salt, because that's one of them games. And they done all right, to be fair, at 1-0. They rallied a little bit and tried to cause them a few problems, but yeah, City are a class above, mate. And yeah, delighted we've got them next.
Right, Tom's team of the week incoming. Right, what formation are you going then, Tom, for this team of the week? You going 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 5-3-2? What do you want to do?
Well, what I'm going to do is, because, obviously you want to try and fit players in, I'm going to go for that kind of back five. Yeah. Because of the players I want to make sure are in that team. Obviously, you've got to take it a little bit, don't take it too seriously. But I'll go over 5 at the back, 3 in midfield and 2 up top for the players I want to get in, actually. Right,
here we go then, your team of the week. So, kick off with the goalkeeper then, please, mate.
Yeah, there's no one that really stands out for me in goal. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Sanchez of Brighton. And the reasoning behind that, because there was obviously goalkeepers kept clean sheets, which he didn't. But he went to Old Trafford, and at 2-1, when they needed him, Rashford had a big chance, and he made a big save. He's been a really good goalkeeper for Brighton, so yeah, I'm going to stick him in goal.
Right, okay then, and across the back?
Well, he played at right back, so put him in that right back spot. I'm going to go for Ben White. On the Friday night, played against Palace. Ben White is not a right back. Put him there. Ben White, I'm going to put a right back because he's not a right back. He got moved out there, and because of injuries, and he's playing against Wilfred Zaha, who's one of the toughest wingers in the league. And he pocketed him, really. He had 1 yellow card where he just cleverly pulled him back, stop him breaking. But I thought he was exceptional at right back, out of position. So I'm going to put Ben White in at that right back slot, mate, / right wing back. I know he's not there, but back 5, I'm going to put him on the right.
Left?
On the left-hand side, I'm going to go for Ryan Sessegnon. He actually did play left wing back, Sessegnon, for Tottenham. And he scored the goal. He scored the goal that got him back in the game against Southampton. But also, it's been quite talked about that Conte brought in Perisic, and he started the season with Sessegnon, so he's thinking, right, I need to prove myself here because Perisic is obviously, everyone's expecting Perisic to come in. Did himself no harm, mate. Scored a goal, played really well. So yeah, go Sessegnon in there. Scott Parker's obviously had him before as a left wing back, and I think he done really well.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Okay, across the back then.
Yeah, back 3. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you put all 3 of them, mate. But I've gone. Let's go like kind of that right centre back. I'm going to go for Fabian Schär of Newcastle. Not only did they keep a clean sheet on the opening day, but he also scored a bloody screamer, probably the goal of the weekend. So he's got to get in for that. Done his job from a defensive point of view.
Should have Henderson done better?
Yeah, maybe. Might come on to Henderson.
Okay.
But Fabian Schär, really good centre half. We all know the muddy Newcastle have got. Sven Botman bought him, but he was on the bench because typical Eddie. Giving Schär the opportunity before he's brought Botman in, and he was brilliant and scored a screamer, so he deserves to get in from there.
Right, who's going to be in the middle?
Going down the Arsenal route again, mate, I'm going to put Saliba.
Yeah.
Saliba.
Yeah.
The reason Ben White's playing right back is because of how well Saliba done in pre-season. Yeah. It was his debut, even though he's been at Arsenal for a little bit of time. He's been out on loan in France and been brilliant, so they've gone, God, we're going to give him a chance, and he was exceptional. We got man of the match on the night. He was brilliant, mate. Absolutely faultless. So he's got to go in there, clean sheet, and that could be big for Arsenal. Really good.
All right then.
Left centre back, mate. Lloyd Kelly.
Oh, I love this from you. And look, on yesterday's second look from a Bournemouth perspective, I was looking at various websites, and WhoScored.com had him as a star player. Wasn't voted man of the match by fans or even by the sponsors, but I think it was clear that he had an outstanding game and almost 2 assists.
Exactly. He's gone in there at home, newly promoted side. He's led the team to a clean sheet at the back. And then for both goals, one's officially down as an assist, but for both goals, he played a massive part. So I can't not put him in, mate. So yeah, Lloyd Kelly for me. Definitely.
Right. Okay, so how's this midfield going then, mate?
Just put 3 in there. I don't care where you put them, to be fair. Just 3 that all played in the centre of midfield to some degree at the weekend. I'm going to go for another Newcastle player in there, Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah.
So put Bruno, it's easier, isn't it?
Yeah, Bruno.
But watch the extended highlights, and I'm be interested to see if anyone wants to say it in this chat. But outside the big 6, is he the best player? Because I just think he runs games. Unbelievable. He can sit deep, dictate the play. We saw at the back end of last season he can score goals. Everything went through him, mate, and he's massive for Newcastle. What a signing, and just so impressed with him. So yeah, I got to put Bruno in there, and obviously won 2-0. So yeah, deserves to get in there, mate.
Superb. Who else we got?
Got to put Pascal Gross for Brighton because he scored 2 goals at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So has to be in there for sure. He's one of them players that seems to be around for a while, and he always pops up with goals. I think he scored at Old Trafford before, actually, or against Man U at least. But Gross, 2 goals, good performance, good result from Brighton, and he ran the midfield. So yeah, Gross got to be in there for me, mate. He has to go, and he scored 2 goals.
Go on then, fill it up. Who we got?
I'm going to go. I wanted to put Tavernier because I want to do a little shout out from a Bournemouth perspective. He was made his debut and was exceptional for Bournemouth. But I'm going to go for Aronson of Leeds, who was also his debut. Bought in, highly rated. He didn't get the winner. It went down as an own goal, but he played a big part in it. Yeah. And I just thought he looked really classy. I know there's big things expected from him, but again, I thought from a midfield point of view, everything went through him. So he could be one to watch this season. I think he looks really good for Leeds, and with him losing Calvin Phillips, Rafinha, they're going to be looking at some of their new signings to really step up, and I thought he was brilliant. And
on the BBC website, he was actually voted player of the match as well, with 8.31 out of 10 as well. So
yeah, brilliant.
Good choice there. Right then, up top.
Mitrovic. Alexander Mitrovic, of course. Mitrovic is in there. Managed to watch the full game because it was the early kick-off. Causing problems, mate. You're causing Van Dijk problems. You're causing Trent problems at the back stick.
He's wily, isn't he?
He is, and to be fair to him, he knows all the question marks there. Oh, can he do it in the Prem? We've got the similar with Dom Solanke, and Mitrovic opening day against Liverpool, he scored 2 goals.
Good pen as well, wasn't it? I
really
mean, he was close to it, Alisson, but
really good pen,
nicely in the corner,
and great header. And Mitrovic, he'll be thinking, people write me off in the Premier League. I want to prove them wrong. So yeah, big from Mitrovic. Thoroughly deserves to get in there, mate.
And I've got to say, his all-round performance was very good as well. I mean, he's sometimes we've said before there have been certain performances where he's just almost waits up top to lump it in, but his work rate was really good during that game. So
Definitely.
fair play to him. Who's joining him?
Haaland. Just edges Kiefer Moore for me. You got to put Haaland in. Another one that got a brace. So he's got to be in there, and we spoke about it briefly, but. Yeah, it hadn't taken him long to settle in, has it? Got Bournemouth up next, so I'm looking forward to that. But I am genuinely looking forward to seeing what he's like in the flesh, to be honest. What a player. So, really exciting, mate.
With this in mind, who is your gaffer of the week then? Really intrigued. I mean, look, I've got an idea in my head, but, this is not my time to shine. This is you, mate, so go on.
Scott Parker. Scott Parker's the gaffer of the week. And yeah, I'm a Bournemouth fan. We're Bournemouth fans, but I'm sorry. Every prediction, we're predicted bottom.
Hang on, so Marco Silva masterminds a 2-2 against one of the best sides in the league. Yeah. And
he's up there.
But we play Villa.
Yeah. Who everyone's talking about being the next best to the Big Six.
And so Parker's
in there, mate. Clean sheet, 2-0 win. We've got no defenders. We're playing a centre half at the back who scores, gets man of the match on the pitch. We're exceptional, and we've been written off before a ball's kicked. We go straight out there against a Villa side who I've seen a lot of people say are going to be top 10 comfortably. They didn't do anything. Our goalkeeper barely had a say to make. He's earned it. He's earned it for me. Obviously, shout out to Silva, shout out to Graham Potter, loads of things. But I think a lot of people felt Villa was the banker of the weekend, and they didn't have a sniff, mate. So. Yeah, tactically I thought we were bang on, and Parker's earned that for me, and I genuinely think that's putting the bias at the door. I think Scott Parker's earned that.
Some could say he's earned his stripes.
That's poor for me.
Hero week. Right, who is your hero of the week?
Hero of the week. So we're going to go with this kind of the main man of the weekend. It's got to be Haaland. Not going to go over it too much. We've mentioned him a few times. It's got to be Haaland.
But if he did that, 5 weeks into the Premier League campaign, he would not be your hero of the week. Is it just because he's come from a league where, his debut.
The pressure's on him.
Yeah, the pressure's on him to perform, and he has delivered. Yeah. But needless to say, if he put in that shift any other time, he probably wouldn't be here.
No, and I think it's just I'm thinking of it broadly and just thinking he was probably the best player of the weekend, simple as. But 2 goals, and we've mentioned how great he is. But I think also after the Community Shield, and he missed a few chances, people going, oh, is he up to it?
Memeing it up. Gifts,
exactly.
I love that.
Exactly, and he's got to get it for me. He was the best player of the weekend.
All right, let's. We've got our team, we've got our hero, but there should also be some notable shout-outs. I feel.
Yeah, and I think just to calm down the comments as well. If it wasn't for Haaland, if we'd stopped it on Saturday, I would have gave it to Mitrovic. As you said, mate, he's played against Liverpool. He's played against one of the best centre halves in the world. Scores 2 goals, was a nuisance all game. So Mitrovic as well would be a close second to Haaland for me. Obviously, there's loads of players we can mention, but Mitrovic deserves a shout out for sure.
All right, they're stinkers then, mate. Stinker of the week. It can be a situation, it can be a chance on goal, it can be a player, it can be whatever you want. Is there something this weekend that has stood out to you as being worthy of this award? And it's a great award, by the way, stinker.
There's two, so I don't know if you want to... I'll say the two, and then you can give a decisive vote if you want.
Go on.
So first of all, I'm going to go Dean Henderson of Nottingham Forest.
Right, is that for a particular incident?
Yeah, well he comes out, doesn't he, and says he's been treated like a caged animal for being a backup goalkeeper at Man United. Jesus. Yeah, and really talked himself up, didn't he, and all this stuff. And then at the end of the day, he's gone to Forest and got beaten by a distant strike from a centre half, and then Callum Wilson's flicked one in the top corner, and he didn't look great. So yeah, and I think with him saying all that, bigging himself up, and then being pretty poor, one of the poorest keepers of the weekend, I'm going to say Dean Henderson. And also, I'm going to say Erik Ten Hag. I'm going to go Ten Hag. I nearly mentioned Gerrard, but I think no, let's keep the credit with Bournemouth. I'm going to say Ten Hag because has he dealt? Oh, it's a difficult situation, but he's basically gone out there and we haven't got a striker, so I'm not going to play one. But then when we need a goal, I'm going to bring on Ronaldo anyway. Well, you might as well start him then. Yeah. Weird. I don't think they know what they're doing. Playing Maguire and Martinez at the back, they just looked all over the place, and you're playing I know you'll probably look to recruitment, but you're playing the same players that have failed Man United consistently. Fred and McTominay in the middle of the pitch. I was watching them going, nothing's changed. And I'm sure he's a better coach than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's a better coach than Ralf Rangnick, but certainly didn't look it off the bat, mate. So yeah, I'm going to go them two. So I don't know who you want to give the decisive vote to, or if you want to leave it to the comments, whatever. But Henderson and Ten Hag are the stinkers for me.
Erik Ten Hag.
Yeah, no, fair shout. Lost at Old Trafford, mate.
That's
on the
for me.
Day. Yeah,
that's for me. Right, okay. Moving on then, mate. I need to talk about FPL. Right, you know that I'm an FPL virgin. You had to tell me how to pick my team. I did pick my team, and then I changed it last minute without you saying what you said. And I'd love to know what my team initially would have scored. There it is. There's the team that I went for, mate. I totaled a garner of, drum roll please, 48 points. So my overall rank is 5,000,000, 5.9.
Good to be the top 6 mil, I'd say.
I mean, I'm a bottom half side at the moment, but yeah.
Mate, everyone who knows FPL know you don't take any notice in the first week.
Where did I go wrong? Is there any sort of player there?
Same as me, mate. Didn't have Haaland. The fact of the matter is everyone who had Haaland has done better than people that didn't have Haaland. It's as simple as that. I think a lot of people done what you and I did, or what I certainly did. I thought I'm going to start with Kane. He's got a better fixture. And then I might look at Kane's got Chelsea coming up, whereas Haaland's got Bournemouth at home. Maybe switch it if I have to. Unfortunately, even though Tottenham scored 4, Kane wasn't involved, and Haaland got a brace. It's simple as that. But I got slightly better than you just because I had Zinchenko at the back, who fortunately got an assist and a clean sheet. And obviously you got Perisic in there as well, who we mentioned earlier with Sessegnon playing. So yeah, it is what it is, mate. But I think literally the difference has been who's got Kane and who's got Haaland.
So if you were me, if I'm going to transfer anyone in or out, a player there that you think,
It depends if you want to back Bournemouth or not, mate. Do you gamble and keep Kane in, or do you just do a switch from Kane to Haaland for a week? I don't know. I looking at your team now, and off the bat of one game, I think you get Rashford out. I just don't think they look any good, mate. They've got Brentford away, which he could do something, but I think Brentford at home are a good side, and then they've got Liverpool. So I don't think you're going to want Rashford for the Liverpool game. Right. So he's 6.5 million, I think. So you can look at taking him out. There's some options in there. You can get Martinelli, who I think is cheaper, for example. But yeah, obviously you've got your team on screen, so let us know if you think he could do anything. But yeah, that's a decent team there. It's a decent template team on paper. It's just, if you had Haaland in there instead of Kane, you're doing all right. So that's what it is, mate.
Chart my progress throughout the season. I'm an FPL virgin, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. But what I do know I'm doing in terms of this is showing you right now the games that we've got next week. Right, Tom, I'm going to give you a few quick fire predictions. Okay. And you know what? Do you want to do the scoreline?
Scoreline, yeah.
Because I'm not being funny. Super 6 table, back of the net league. You are third.
Third. There's a few hundred in there, and I'm sitting in third, 1 point off top. This is what it is, mate. This is what it is.
Aston Villa at home to Everton. Kicks off.
Oh, that's a horrible game, because I think they both look bad. I'm going to go 1-0 Villa.
Arsenal are at home to Leicester.
I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, Brighton against Newcastle United. This is a tasty fixture, this.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, two hungry English managers there. Man City versus Bournemouth.
Oh, I hate it. Come on.
Just be honest.
3-0 City. 3-0 City. That's what come out of my mouth. I was thinking 6, then I was thinking 1-0 Bournemouth, and I've just gone 3-0 City. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
All right.
Southampton v Leeds.
Oh, I hate that game, by the way.
Oh,
Southampton
what a
Leeds.
horrible
So you know what I'm
fixture.
going to do? 0-0.
0-0. Wolverhampton Wanderers at home to Fulham. Good start for
1-1.
Wolves after they then went and lost. Okay. Brentford against Man United. This is the one you were talking about, mate. Tasty.
2-2.
All right, and then on Super Sunday we got Forest at home to West Ham.
1-0 West Ham.
Interesting.
1-0 West Ham. Just nick it. That'd be a
Too
tight
many new signings to gel together right
Yeah,
now.
I think it would take Forest a bit of time. Unfortunately, we've probably got them at a bad time. We've got them in September where they probably just got into it. But
Tell
yeah,
you what, it is a quite good Super Sunday though, because after that Chelsea v Spurs.
really interesting game. I actually think I'm going to go Tottenham 1-0.
Spurs got
two
enough.
1-0 away wins on your Super Sunday, all right? Yeah, I think 1-0 and I'm going to go Harry Kane, mate, so keep him in your team.
Loving the way that Sky Sports are thinking about away fans, etc. Crystal Palace away to Liverpool on a Monday night.
I think
done, Sky.
after that first game against Fulham, I think Liverpool are going to click into gear 3-0 Liverpool. I think they're going to be hurting from that 3-0.
That was the Premier League show. The view from the south, unbiased, even though Scott Parker was our gaffer of the week. It's fine.
He deserved it this week. I'm sorry. He deserved it this week. All right.
He did. He
4
did.
stripes on his blazer thing because we're in the top 4.
Yeah. Agreed. How many stripes is he going to have after match week 2? We will
17.
find out. We will be back same time next week. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe. Yes, you'll get a load of Bournemouth content on the channel, but when we're playing Manchester City next, you can't avoid the vlog that's going to be coming up, right? There's going to be goals aplenty, and with Kiefer Moore on the pitch, I'm sure he's going to be contributing to most of them. Maybe.
Maybe.
Up the cherries, up the Premier
Cheers.
League. See you later.
Cheers.